Hello. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Sharifa, and my poetry name is New Lily. If you're new to my channel, please check out the links in my description box and my comment section. I usually, in the beginning of my videos, tell y'all about the 3 video links that link to 3 different videos that tell how I became targeted. And I don't mention the other links in the description box in the comment section. Oftentimes later in the video, I will mention them, but I'm going to mention everything here at the beginning of the video. So in the description box and the comment section, not only will you find 3 links to 3 different videos that tell how I became targeted, but you'll also find other important links. Links to videos that discuss the technology utilized on targets, such as the insect drones that are used to surveil targets 24/7. You'll find some links down there with information about those, as well as a link to an article that specifically talks about the mosquito insect drone that has cameras, microphones, and a syringe on it. This technology really exists, and this is how they surveil targets 24/7. One of the many ways. They have a whole arsenal of different drones that they use. They use bird drones, rooster drones, all types of different insects, really. They even have gnats, those are smaller and harder to see. And this is why a lot of targets feel like they're being watched, but they don't really know how. If you purchase a camera finder, you won't find the camera. Because I made that mistake before I knew that I was targeted, when I had just kind of started learning, that something really weird was going on, and I knew that I was being surveilled. I came into the realization that somehow they were watching me in my apartment. That was when I started to, try to order camera finders and things of that nature, and I could not find the camera. And then later down the line, at the end of 2022, when I learned that I was a target, that was when I started learning all of the other information. So there are links in the description box and the comment section. All of the links that are in the description box, I also include in a pinned comment in the comment section. But there are links to that information, excuse me. And then there are also links to videos where I talk about the patented technology utilized on targets. So not just the insect drones, but the RFID chip and nanobots that are injected into targets via the mosquito insect drone. And the article I just referenced talks about that specifically. So there are links to videos like that. I even have a video I created called Evidence of Mind Control Technology, where I shared information about the technology used to neuro monitor targets. And I also even shared sources where you could find more information about this technology, including sources to videos where I showed the patent for the technology. I believe I even showed the patent in that video that I just mentioned. So there's a plethora of information out there, guys, and it's all in my videos. Not everything, but I've shared quite a bit of information on this channel and in my videos. And so in the description box, you'll just find a lot of helpful links, whether you're a new target, an old target, whether you know a lot of information or you don't. Any target can benefit from the information that's in my description box and my comment section. Um, I also have links in the comment section that link to videos with doctors that talk about this technology, like Dr. Phil. Also a link to Michael Barden's video where he talks about this patented technology and its capabilities. So please check those links out, y'all. It's good information, and definitely something that's pertinent if you're targeted. Also, in the description box and comment section, as I mentioned a little while ago, are 3 links to 3 different videos where I talk about how I became a targeted individual in 2020. So one of the links to a video that's about 12 hours long. That's a 7-part video compilation. So I created 7 different parts and I compiled it into one video. That's why it's so many hours of content. But not only did I tell you what started my targeting in 2020, but I also gave backdrop story. So I talked about all the way back to my early 20s when I started going through weird things, trials and tribulations, weird things that I would call a spiritual battle that kind of eventually led up to me being targeted. I don't want to say all of the weird things I've been through throughout the last decade has been connected, but it almost feels that way spiritually. It's been some sort of weird thing that I've been through. And it started, I would say, around age 22, 23, and it's gone on to now age 32. Just made 32 last year in December, y'all. Last month, actually. So anyways, that full story video link, like I said, it's 12 hours of content. It's not meant to be watched in one session. Like I said, it's 7 different parts, y'all. So take your time and watch it if you have the time. And just listen to the different things that I have to say. I think it's interesting. I always say this, that I know that's biased for me to say that because it's my story. So of course I would say it's interesting, but it's really interesting, y'all, at the risk of sounding biased. I'm telling you this objectively. It's interesting. Like, I've been through some weird, gnarly stuff, some inexplainable, astronomically strange things for the last decade. And I sat there and I talked about it in vivid detail in my full story. And that's one of the few videos, that's actually one of the only videos where you'll see me on camera. I only have 2 videos at the moment, y'all, where I'm on camera. That video that I just referenced, my full story video, and then a video that I just recently posted last month around it was after my birthday, like a couple days after my birthday. I just did a quick little clip. It's like 3 video clips that I posted, and it's called 3-month workout update progression or something like that. And then I said in video birthday, update. Something like that. Y'all will see it. It's the thumbnail. You can see it's like a picture collage with me in a sports bra and a short pants. And in that video, like I said, just 3 different video clips where I was just showing y'all what my progress has been, because I've been working out for the last 3 months and I just kind of wanted to have like a before video. So it's not really totally a before video because it definitely has been a while that I've been working out. Not a while. 3 months is not a long time, but I do have some progress. You can see it in the videos, but it's still not, it's not anywhere near where I want to be, right? So I'm still on the journey and I wanted to have like this before video so that I could look back at that and compare notes to how I was when I kind of around the time when I first started. This is 3 months in, but it's kind of relatively still the beginning of my workout journey versus what it's going to look like a few months later if the most I spares my life. So that's kind of like a before video, but also a video for you guys to just see what I'm looking like now. And also so I could be on camera, because like I said, that's the second video where I'm on camera. I don't have any other videos on camera, just my full story that I was just talking about. And then that video that I just mentioned that I posted last month. It's like 5 minutes long, 5-minute video where I just showed y'all 3 different clips. Just showing you what my progress from working out for the last 3 months has been. So anyways, the reason I don't have any other videos on camera is because the computer that I was using when I first started making videos, not last year, but the end of 2022, December of 2022 was when I first started making videos. So it's been about a year of me making videos, at least targeted individual videos. The computer I was initially using got confiscated. I had a lot more videos up, y'all. Those of you that have been subscribed from the beginning, you know what I'm talking about. But some of you that are newer, you've only seen, the 2 videos with me on camera, the full story and then the video I just referenced, the workout video. But I had way more videos on camera, y'all. I had so many videos on camera, and all those videos got deleted when that computer was confiscated. What it was I borrowed that computer from someone in my close circle, and I posted a video, basically just talking about what happens with the program and kind of mentioning, stuff about people in my close circle. You know how it is when you're targeted, and that gets tricky when I start mentioning the people in my close circle. And so this is when the computer got confiscated, and unfortunately I didn't sign out of my YouTube. And the rest was history. My stuff got deleted, most of my videos. And so for the last, I want to say 4 to 5 months, I've been working on recreating the content that got deleted. And a lot of it's been off camera because I don't have access to a computer with a camera on it. And the computer that I did have access to, that I used to make my full story video, the one I just referenced that I am on camera for, the 12-hour video, that computer is no longer working. And even when it was working, I didn't even really like the camera quality. So although I went on camera for my full story, I didn't go on camera for my other videos because the camera quality of the videos I had posted prior was way more better than the camera quality of that computer that I used to make my full story. And it's not working anymore anyways. It just recently stopped working. So anyways, guys, eventually, I just started working again. I told you that in my newer videos and my recent videos that I just started, doing a little supplemental income. I'm doing some security at night. So I'm glad to have a job, grateful, because I've been, for the last year, those of you that have been subscribed, you know what I'm talking about. For the last year, just pretty much unemployed. So I'm so grateful to be working again. So hopefully I'll be able to get a computer with a good camera, and then I can start doing videos on camera again. And really more, my content is going to be more so positive. I'm trying to make videos that are more upbeat and talking about stuff other than this program. It's hard when you're targeted to not talk about it because constantly 24/7 you're dealing with the program. So it's like constantly you want to talk about it. But the more you talk about it, I mean, I'm not going to say that it doesn't help because it actually has helped me so much making these videos. I keep saying that in all of my videos. It's been the best countermeasure that I found to this program and the tactics used. It's literally been my saving grace making these videos. But at the same time, I've made so many and I feel like I've addressed everything that I needed to address. I just feel like there's nothing else for me to really talk about as far as this program goes, unless I'm documenting something. Like there's something like that happens that I really absolutely feel like I need to document. Other than that, I don't really feel like I need to continue making targeted individual videos because I've posted so much information to help targets. The info that I wish I knew when I first learned that I was targeted, the info that I had to go digging for, I've posted that already. I've posted my story. I've refuted a lot of the false narratives that keep being thrown at me. I've explained the tactics used and how you can countermeasure them. I've made so much videos. I've provided patents and evidence about the technology utilized on targets and the existence of this covert surveillance secret, top secret program that exists. I've provided so many different videos about this thing. Like, I don't even feel like there's anything else I need to make a video about. Unless literally, like I said, something new pops up, which often does happen with the program, especially when you learn how to simulate. But if something new pops up and I feel like I need to document, then that's when you'll hear a video from me. And really, that's what a lot of my recent videos have been really documentation. But I'm trying to, like I keep saying, y'all, and I mean it, I'm really trying to steer away from the targeted individual videos now because I feel like I've posted everything that I need to post. And I don't want to give this thing any more energy or any more of my time, really and truly. I'm 32. I'm not getting any younger. And I don't want to keep giving this program my time and my energy. It's already bad enough that you deal with it 24/7, but then sitting here making videos on wasting precious breath on nonsense and negativity, it's really, really draining, you know? So anyways, forgot what I was gonna say now. I heard a little rev in the background and that threw me off. That's kind of it's not kind of, that's major gaslighting because you're dealing with negativity 24/7. This is why you would be making these videos. But anyways, like I said, I already said everything I needed to say though. So this is where it's now at this point redundant because the things I'm talking about I've already said oftentimes. So if I'm not documenting something new, I don't need to keep making these videos repeating things I've already said. Anyway, so God, what else was I gonna say though? That threw me off. Y'all know I have ADD. Check out the banner. Living with ADD and Asperger's. Talk with Sharifa. It's a real thing, y'all. I'd be going off like sometimes with these videos. It does not take much, and oftentimes I'll go off on tangents too. But I'm so good at reeling it back in. I can oftentimes reel it back into what I was talking about or where I strayed off. I went off course in the conversation. But sometimes something as simple or as minuscule as the Rev campaign can throw me off and I'll lose focus. But it's kind of like white noise at this point because I've gotten so good at tuning. I'm telling you, I'm so good at freaking tuning out what's happening behind me and focusing. It's crazy how this program has been therapeutic for my ADD. They've been like Adderall. It's like freaking Adderall therapy. It's almost like Adderall, the things they do. They have literally helped me with my ADD and helped me to stay focused better than I've ever been in my life. Anyway, so I forgot what I was gonna say though. I went off on that. I was talking about the videos. Then so I was telling y'all about how my videos got deleted and the fact that I'm only at this point now on camera for 2 of my videos and all of my other videos at the moment are off camera. But y'all can check out my update video. I posted that about 5 months ago. The thumbnail literally says update. It's a white screen with red letters that says update. You can check out that video to hear more info about how my videos got deleted. But it's not really much more info than what I said. It's pretty much what I just told you. How the videos got deleted and these last few months I've really just been recreating the content that got deleted, except I'm not on camera. That's the only difference. The only thing, like I said, I'm on camera for is the full story, how I became targeted, and then that video from last month, that workout progression video. Speaking of which, I don't want to go off track, but let me show y'all. There's more to show. Oh, that's a picture of me when I was a baby. But there's more to show y'all as far as this workout progression goes, because I showed y'all the video, right? These are pictures. You can pretty much see it looks the same as that video that I posted, right? That's pretty much what I'm looking like. Actually, you know what? The last month since I made these videos, I think it was on the 26th. And what's today? The 12th? It's only been 2 weeks. But y'all, I've been taking whey protein and drinking a lot of milk, and it's literally packing the pounds on. I actually believe I weigh more than what I look like in these pictures. It's crazy how that thing packed the pounds on. But it's like I'm kind of trying to wean myself off of it because, I've already said this in prior videos, and I'm not trying to push my understanding of health on you. So if you do milk, cool. A lot of people do drink milk and they're just fine. There are elderly people that's been drinking milk their whole life. I personally don't care for milk because I follow Dr. Sabi, and I also follow, a lot of those holistic health type of doctors or whatever, the ones that talk against animal products. And I'm not anti-animal products. I eat meat. I drink milk, right? I eat eggs. So it's not like I'm one of those people that's anti-animal products, but I do see some validity in some of the things said about some animal products. And Dr. Sabi used to talk about milk and the fact that milk is mucus. And so it can cause mucus in the body. So even though it's good, it has protein, it's high in protein. It has vitamin D, etc. And a lot of people can drink it and be just fine. That's milk is made to feed a baby cow, that's a big creature, and you're putting that in your body. And that's really mucus that the mother produces to nourish the child or the baby. So it's not really something that's meant to be consumed by humans. And if you do consume milk, it's better to drink goat milk because goat milk emulates breast milk, human breast milk, more than cow milk does. It doesn't taste as good. I mean, I guess that's, it's a matter of opinion, really. But in my opinion, goat milk doesn't taste as good as cow milk. I think goat milk's an acquired taste. I think that's what it is. Because I do remember there was a time in my life when I was younger. I'm about to go off on a tangent again. But I do remember when I was younger, there was a time in our life where my dad was buying a lot of goat milk. And at first it tasted terrible to me. And after a while, it started to like grow on me, the taste. So I think it's like an acquired taste in a way. But regardless, whatever the case is, it's better for you. If you are going to drink animal product milk, you're better off drinking goat milk than cow milk, from what I understand. But all of it's mucus. It's mucus. It's not really something you should be drinking from what I've read. Again, you can do your own research and make your own decision on what you choose to eat and not eat. And I completely respect what you drink and don't. I'm just telling you what my research has been and what I do, right? So for over the years, I really haven't drank milk like that. And also, too, I'm lactose intolerant and it breaks my skin out. So there are just several reasons why I kind of steer clear of milk and why I have over the years. But recently, like I told y'all, my main goal, I said this in the last video and I deleted it, by the way, y'all. Y'all may have noticed I took down, this is going to be titled the same thing. Well, maybe not. I was going to title this Vent Part 2, the same title of the video that I deleted, for those of you that got to view it. But I don't think I'm going to even title it that. I think I'll give this a different title, this video. But I did make a Vent Part 2 video, y'all, that I decided to take down. And I'll talk about that in a second because I'm going off on a bunch of different tangents now. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so with the milk thing, I've been doing that for the last month, even though I don't typically drink cow milk. I said I would do it temporarily. So I'm doing like a cycle of whey protein. And when I say a cycle, I mean I bought a jar of whey protein and it just finished. And I was about to do another jar of whey protein. And then I was going to go back to vegan protein, the pea protein, and go back to vegan milk, the oat milk, instead of doing the cow milk and the whey protein. But I was just doing a little research just now. Thank goodness I came across this video with this guy that's also into holistic health and stuff. And he was talking about the fact that the vegan proteins are almost worse than the whey proteins because a lot of them are over processed, even when they say certified organic, and they're high in lead. And so there are studies out there that show that these proteins, these vegan proteins are high in lead and, those type of heavy metals. And that's a target that's like anybody really in this world. That's the last thing you need in your body. Because really just with the way that the crops are these days anyway, it's overprocessed with the glyphosates and, they spray the crops and the GMOs, etc. Even if you're getting something that says organic, if it's a vegetable, it has GMOs on it. It doesn't matter if they tell you organic or not. It has glyphosates, etc. That's why it's good to soak your vegetables and your fruits and stuff in water with vinegar. I don't even do that. I'm saying that and I know that, but I haven't really been keeping up with those things that I know about. But so it's just bad, man, doing those pea proteins and stuff. And so I'm just like now feeling shook up because I was literally planning to do like one more cycle of whey protein. So I was going to get another jar of the whey protein, go through that with the cow milk, and then I was going to go back to doing oat milk and vegan protein. But that just shook up my whole game plan when I saw that thing about the lead. And that's the last thing, this is what I was saying, that's the last thing a Target needs to be doing. Anyone really in this world, like I said, with the way that the crops are now, nobody really needs to be taking anything that has lead in it. But as a Target especially, with the nanobots and stuff and the graphene, nano is made of graphene. And graphene is a quasi metal. So it's basically like a heavy metal, but like more complicated. It's harder to pull out the body. It operates in the body the same way that a heavy metal does. That's the last thing a Target needs, is to be putting more heavy metals in the body. So when I saw that, I was just like, oh my God, that sucks. So I just had like this whole game plan. And honestly, too, when I was working out, because like I told you, I've been working out for the last 3 months, and I've taken the whey protein and I've taken the vegan protein. I've done 2 cycles of the vegan protein. They were spaced out, but I did do 2 cycles of the vegan protein and I did 1 cycle of the whey protein. And the way the vegan protein made me feel versus the whey protein is significant. I felt lighter with the vegan protein. When I'm working out, I feel like I can jog and I'm not feeling like I'm getting winded as much. With the whey protein and the milk, I'm finding I'm getting winded more with my jogging. My jogging is more difficult. I just feel more out of shape. And it's not psychological either. It's not placebo effect. I'm telling you, it's the real deal. Like, I'm really feeling that way. And I'm noticing that to be the case. It's like, I like how it's putting the pounds on. Like, this is what I was saying, and it kind of went off on a tangent. Just trying to tell y'all that I think I've gained more weight from these pictures, because the short pants that you see me wearing there, it's like I'm squeezing into it now. And so I realized that the whey protein really works. Like, it put the pounds on real quick. The milk and the whey protein, doing that combination. But at the same time, the way it makes me feel, it's just like I don't feel internally as healthy as I did when I was doing the vegan protein. And then also, too, my skin has been breaking out. So I was just like, I think I want to go back to the vegan protein like now. Like, my whey protein just ran out and I get paid tomorrow. And I was thinking in my head, I think I'm going to just go back to the vegan protein instead of doing a second cycle of the whey protein and then going back. I was just about to go back to the vegan protein. And then I came across this video. I was just looking at different vegan milks because I'm looking for a higher protein vegan milk. And I saw that soy milk is like 7 grams of protein and cow milk is 9 grams. But then the more research I did, I'm confused still about the soy milk, to be quite real with you. Years ago, I had heard soy milk was bad. And then we started seeing stuff that it might not be bad. And it's the fermented soy or unfermented soy. I don't know. It's confusing. And I'm seeing different things now as I'm doing my research. And I just said, just to be safe, I was going to stay away from the soy. And so the second best not cow milk, excuse me, vegan milk I saw was oat milk. But then I saw this video with this guy that was talking about all of the different plant-based milks. And so I decided to sit there and watch it, and thank goodness I did, because he mentioned pea protein milk. I didn't even know they had a pea protein milk. I know pea protein is one of the main proteins they use in vegan protein powder. And so me seeing that info that he gave about it having heavy lead in it was so helpful, because I was like, oh my gosh, thank God I saw that. I was literally just about to buy vegan protein. So I think what I'm going to do is just, as much as I don't really want to do this, I think I'm going to do one more cycle of the whey protein. I might stop doing the cow milk. I might go back to doing oat milk, so it's not like that double whammy, like I'm getting too much milk in. I might go back to doing the the oat milk with the whey protein. And then when that runs out, I think I'm going to just start making homemade protein shakes, like, oatmeal, banana, blueberries, chia seeds, etc., peanut butter. I'm just putting together my own homemade protein shakes is what I think I'm going to do, because that's healthier. And that's not going to have like a negative effect on me. So that's what I think I'm going to do. But I still think I want to do another cycle of the whey protein. I'm not sure, y'all. I'll let y'all know. I'll keep y'all updated. I'm still trying to figure it out. But I know I'm staying away from the vegan protein. And I would advise that you do too, if you're someone that works out and takes protein. Anyway, guys, I went off on a major tangent. I was just trying to tell y'all I've gained weight since these pictures from 2 weeks ago, right? It's crazy how I gained weight, but I've gained weight from these pictures. It's to the point where I'm squeezing into my pants. But I just wanted to show you these pictures to show y'all more of an update, because I showed y'all the video, but I didn't show y'all the pictures. This is what it's looking like. These are results. I've been doing a lot of squats. I've been doing a lot of leg workouts. I've been doing Bulgarian split squats. I made a homemade barbell. It's now to the point where I have a gym membership. I've gone about 3 times now, I think, either 4 or 3 times now. And that's also, been having a major effect. I can already see results coming in, and I've only been there 4 times because now I have access to equipment, etc. But these results you see here on the screen is from home workouts. I put together my own barbell with water bottles and like a wooden rod, and I was just doing a lot of home workouts, and I was jogging in my neighborhood, and that was where I got these results. Anyway, guys, that's all I want to show you. So that's my results right now, and it's just getting better. I may just keep working on taking care of myself. Sorry, guys, this is just my pictures. I have pictures of like, wigs I'm looking at, and I was looking at shielding. I was thinking about getting some shielding stuff, shielding paint to shield my room. Anyways, let me come out of here. I'm going off on a tangent, y'all. Let me come out of here. Anyway, so I went off on a tangent. Not really. I did kind of want to give y'all the update about the workout thing a little bit in this video, like more of a positive video than the venting and stuff like that. But anyway, so I just want to briefly mention that, but I was just talking about the fact that I'm only on camera for 2 videos. And that's how that tangent happened, because I was talking about the workout thing. But anyway, so hopefully you'll see more videos with me on camera, needless to say, y'all. And hopefully it'll be like more uplifting content rather than just the targeted individual stuff. Like if I found out new stuff, like new updates on, like, for instance, oh man, now I'm mad I deleted that video. I forgot that in that video I had included a case, an ongoing case that's going on right now with a senator that's Muslim that was targeted literally just because his name. And he didn't know he was a target until he tried to get into the White House and realized that he couldn't get in. But thank goodness for him, he has powerful people that will vouch for him because he's a good person and they know him personally. And so that's why it's a good thing for him and us, because now his case is really like moving forward to the Supreme Court and stuff because of who he is. And not only is he just fighting against his targeting specifically, but he's suing a lot of the big wigs that are in charge of the program, including some CIA agents. And then he's also now trying to get the program shut down, which has been attempted many times throughout the years, y'all. So it's not anything that's new. So it's not like I'm trying to be pessimistic about it. It's still exciting, especially since he's a senator. But I'm not getting too excited about it. I'm just more so sitting back and watching the case and keeping my eyes open. So I'll put the link to the video that I'm referencing that I had shared in that last video that I told y'all I deleted, the vent part 2 video, for those of y'all that didn't get to see it. I was venting in that video. I did mention something about someone in my close circle, and it's already started to cause rifts for me and my household, which I was actually kind of fearful would happen. But not just that, I already just to avoid problems, like even if it hadn't caused waves, which of course it would, I just really don't care to make videos about people in my close circle. I do try to steer away from those type of videos. But something happened that I've like really felt like I want to talk about, that hadn't really been happening recently. And so I didn't understand it. It felt unprovoked and I just wanted to talk about it. But of course it did create some sort of ripple and trouble for me. So I took that video down just now, but I forgot that in that video I included that court case, that pending court case that's happening. So I'll put the link to that in the description box as well, y'all. So just check that out. That'll be amongst the other links down there. I'll title it court case I referenced in the video with targeted senator, something like that. I'll put the link to the video where the targets that are covering that story, I'll put the link to that video in the description box. Anyway, so anyways, let me finish telling y'all about, whoa, y'all, there's a cat. Guys, listen. There's this cat, right? I don't mean to go off on a tangent. I think it's because I'm sounding out of breath. They're antagonizing me. I already told y'all in several of these videos, especially the recent ones. When I make these videos, I oftentimes sound out of breath, and I feel like it's neuromonitoring. I'm not certain, but I strongly suspect it's neuromonitoring, because I'll be sitting here feeling fine, breathing fine, not feeling out of breath. I don't want to say wheezing. It's not to the level of wheezing, but just sounding winded, almost like somebody that's overweight that's having trouble talking. Like when you get really obese. And not to say anything disrespectful about overweight people. That's not what I'm trying to do. And you know how you can easily get villainized and vilified in this program. But I'm just saying, like those My 600-Pound Life videos where the person's like super obese, like to the point where they can't get out of bed and they're out of breath just speaking. Like that's almost how I start feeling when I make these videos. It's like I start to get really out of breath and winded, and I'm not feeling that way. Normally I'm just sitting here cool, chilling, having conversation or whatever I'm doing, feeling completely fine. I already told you guys I'm 32. So I'm relatively young. I'm not a spring chicken. I'm not in my 20s, but I'm young and I work out. I work out avidly. I jog 2 times a week and I do weightlifting 3 times a week. So for me to be getting the kind of winded that I be getting when I make these videos, this is why I strongly suspect that it's neuromonitoring. They have the capabilities to do just about anything with this technology once it's inside of you. So I just noticed that when I make these videos, I start to get really out of breath. And then also too, I'm sitting in my vehicle. The AC doesn't really work in this car. It's a decent car, but the AC doesn't work at the moment, and the windows are up. I always keep my windows up when I'm at work. So eventually I'll come out and walk around a little bit, or I'll crack the window for a few seconds and put it back up. But the windows are up. But that's not the excuse, because even when I'm home and I'm making these videos and I'm sitting outside of a vehicle and I'm sitting outside in air, I start to feel this windy kind of way. I'll even start to hear the Havana syndrome hum sometimes too. So I strongly suspect it's neuromonitoring, when I start feeling this winded kind of way. But just now when I was talking, I did start to get that winded kind of way. I started feeling it happening. I'm just so used to it happening when I make these videos that I literally just ignore it. I still continue to make the video and do my thing, ignore it, and just push through because I have the wherewithal to do that. But I do notice it happening. So I was just there trying to kind of catch my breath and talk. And obviously the gang stalkers can hear them getting out of breath because I saw the cat walk by and the cat's staring dead in my eyes as it walks in. I know that sounds insane. Those of you that are targeted, you know that we're not crazy. I've already shown y'all, like I said, check out those links in the description box in the comment section. I've already showed y'all the capability that they have with this technology. We are in a new day and age, y'all. This is a very high tech sci-fi type of society that we're living in right now. We are in a different day and age. It's crazy, the level of technology that they have, right? I already told y'all they're microchipping insects. These are real insects that they use little probes to microchip during the pupa stage. And this is how they get to remote control them. They're basically microchipping the insects the same way they microchip you. Obviously, they're doing a different process to get the chip in. With you, they're using the insect drones to inject you and put the chip in. With the insect, they're using probes and they're putting the chip in. But nonetheless, it's the same concept where they're doing this computer to brain interface. Check out DARPA, right? Check out my videos, y'all. I have posted several videos. I even have further down on my page. If you go before that evidence of mind control technology video, I even referenced the video I'm about to mention in that video, the evidence of mind control technology video. There's a video further down on my page, an older video. I forgot what it's titled. It's something about mind control technology, similar to the title that I just referenced for that newer video I created, where I literally shared a clip from DARPA where they're talking about this technology that they have, this brain to computer interface technology. There are patents for the technology that's also in that video that I referenced, that evidence of mind control technology video I posted. So it's not crazy. I know how this program works. I know that you get, painted as crazy. And I know that they like to slap on the schizophrenia or crazy moniker on targets. I know those are two names that they like to use on targets. That's why it's so important that you provide documentation and evidence for everything that you say as a target. Because if you don't, you will get gaslit into the mental asylum. Like, you will get gaslit into the mental asylum. You will sound plumb batshit crazy if you don't provide documentation to support the things that you're saying, which I have done. This is why I comfortably talk about the things I talk about that I know even to my own ear sounds crazy. They have the capability to do this, y'all. They have rooster drones, they have bird drones, they have insect drones. Check out my prior videos. Anyway, so back to this cat. I believe they're chipping the cats too. I talked about this in some of my recent videos. It tripped me out because even though I know they have the technology to do this, I just didn't think they would take it that far. I keep sitting here stupidly, not thinking they're going to take it that far, and it's already gone so damn far as my targeting goes. If you listen to my story and how far things went and continues to go, you'll understand how far the thing went, right? So I don't know why I keep sitting here like a bumbo saying that I don't, and sorry, that's just island terminology, y'all. I'm just saying like a fool, right? I'm sitting here like a struppity, confused about how far it's going when it's already gone so far. But I just didn't think they would be chipping cats too, you know? But I notice here at work sometimes there's this cat that runs by at, the oddest of moments. It always comes, walks by very slowly watching me, at the oddest of moments, oftentimes too, when I'm doing these videos and I say something, certain things, or I'm out of breath. It's like these shady moments, similar to like when they do ref campaign for certain things, or they'll fly the insect drone in my face. I already told y'all, since they know that I'm aware of the insect drones, they use it to torment me sometimes. They don't do it all the time, but sometimes they'll purposely fly it in my face when certain things play that I'm watching. That seems too controversial, or is shadow networking stimuli that they're trying to sensitize me to. Again, I talked about the shadow networking software. Y'all check out my last video where I showed you an example of the shadow networking AI software. That's a part of one of the tactics, one of the many tactics used, y'all. This is a technological, psychological warfare program, right? I talked about that technology in the last video, right? The shadow networking AI software that they use. I showed you an example of it. And in my description box and comment section, there's a link to a video titled Pertinent Information About the Targeted Individual Program. And in that video, that's the first video where I talk about the shadow networking. It's not the first video where I talk about targeting through the TV. That's what I used to call it. But that pertinent information about the targeted individual program is where I share more information about it and where I learned that the term is actually called shadow networking. And I shared a clip from Michael Barden's page, who's a former military agent that's now targeted, who I got the information from. So check that video out, y'all, and you can hear more about the shadow networking software they use to sensitize you and to hack all of your technological devices and to send you things with stimuli in it. Because you might think you're crazy if you don't know that these are tactics used on targets and actual software that they use, that they have. So if you know the terminology and you know that these things exist, again, it validates your experience and helps you to realize you're not crazy. You're just dealing with a crazy situation. That's how you stay level-minded. Because if you feel like you're crazy and you don't have the evidence about what's happening to you, then you're really going to go off your rocker. But if you know that this shit exists and you actually have the evidence, right, and you have the documentation, I'm not going to say it makes it better. You're still going through this crazy shit, but at least you know you're not crazy. So that helps. Anyway, so just know this technology exists. And I think they're chipping cats at this point because of my experience with the cats here at work, right? Especially this one like tabby cat that keeps walking by at certain times. I strongly believe they have that cat microchipped. And just now when I was wheezing, I wasn't not wheezing. I keep saying wheezing. I'm not wheezing, but like sounding a little bit winded. I looked out the window and I saw the cat walking by and looking at me dead in my eyes. Like they're trying to antagonize me about feeling out of breath while doing the video. Anyway, so enough of that, guys. I can go off on a tangent. Just know they use a lot of manpower and a lot of technology on targets. It's a psychological warfare program, a very high tech, very sophisticated, well put together, comprehensive psychological warfare program that's been around for years. I saw some people talking about the fact, or some targets talking about that it was created after 9/11. But understand this thing has been around way longer than 9/11. It became more invasive after 9/11 because then it became, they kind of put it into this kind of realm of terrorists, this is what it's now being called, like a threat assessment type program. But the thing has been around way before 9/11. Just understand that. Check out which video was it? I have several videos where I've talked about this thing. Yeah, check out all my videos. So don't just check out the videos where I tell you my story. Check out all my videos because I share a lot of information on my channel. Anyways, so because I've been talking for a long time, I'm 38 minutes in and I haven't even gotten to the point of the video. So let me get back. Let me finish the intro. This is the longest intro I've done, y'all. Whoa. I have not even finished my intro because I started talking about other stuff. But anyway, so there's that link to my full story. That's, like I said, 12 hours long, 7-part video compilation where I'm on camera. And then there are 2 other links to 2 other videos where I basically tell you how I became targeted in 2020. The other 2 videos are much shorter. They're still long, but much shorter than 12 hours. One is 2 hours and 40 minutes, and it's called Summary of How I Became a Targeted Individual. And then there's one that's 3 hours and 10 minutes, and it's called Commentating over a clip from my story that says how I became a targeted individual. Both videos basically summarize what started my targeting, and I wouldn't say negates the backdrop details, but definitely summarizes the backdrop details and actually negates some of the backdrop details. Um, so if you don't have the time to sit there and listen to my full story, it's meant to be watched in parts and bits and pieces anyway. It's not meant to be watched in one sitting. But if you don't have the time or patience, I completely get it. I do have targets that have sat there and listened and even commented. Thank you. But if you don't have the time, you can sit there, like I said, and listen to my other 2 videos. The summary video basically, like I said, summarizes what started my targeting, negates, some of the backdrop details, but includes some of it as well, but just summarizes everything more so just, again, focusing on what started my targeting. And then the commentating over a clip video is a little bit more in depth than the summary video. Because what I did was I went into the full story video and I fast forwarded to the portion where I talked about what started my targeting, and I screen recorded that portion of the video and I did commentary over it. And that was done about 2 months ago. So it's more up to date. I included more details, newer details, and it's a little bit more in depth than the summary video. So like I said, if you don't have the time to watch my full story, or if you don't have the patience to watch it, I completely get it. I understand. It would be hard to sit there. Not really hard, because I do it sometimes too, especially if I feel like the story is interesting enough. But I could understand not wanting to sit there and listen to somebody talk about themselves for 12 hours. I can understand that, right? So if you don't have the time or the patience and you want to hear my story, you can listen to one of those 2 videos. Out of the 2, I would recommend the commentating over a clip rather than the summary video. It's a little bit more in depth. Like I said, it's more up to date, and I'm on camera because I pulled a clip. Like I said, I did a screen recording of a clip from my full story that talked about what started the targeting. Anyways, woo, through the intro, guys. Oh my God, I got through. Woo, woo, woo. That took me a long time. But what happened is as y'all heard, I stopped and I was giving y'all details about other stuff. Like when I talked about the workouts, I went in to show you some pictures, etc., etc. Anyway, so this video is kind of like a continuation of the last video that I actually took down, but it's more positive, and also to me just telling you why I took the last video down. So I took the last video down for those of you that viewed it, like I said, because it did kind of start to stir some trouble in the house for me, as I expected that it might have. But then also too, I am really trying to avoid making videos about the people in my close circle. And really, if I'm keeping it real, my targeting hasn't stopped. My gang stalking hasn't stopped, but it's a lot better than it was a few months ago. And when I say a few months ago, I'm talking about like the beginning of last year. Those times, like, it's a lot better than it was. And then also too, in particularly the people in my close circle, if I'm talking about them, the noise campaigns that used to happen in the house, it's nowhere near as bad as before. It's a lot better, even more so than what's happening externally outside with gang stalkers. The people I live with, it's been a lot better. It really has been. So that's why I don't really talk about, that specifically, people in my close circle. I really don't, unless I'm just telling you, stories about us, and stuff, what basically kind of like, I can't really explain it. The things I talk about with the people in my close circle, it's not about any gang stalking. I make sure that I don't talk about that type of stuff particularly. And I haven't had to because it's been so much better in the house. It really has been. But then that thing happened with that person in my close circle that I mentioned in the last video for those of you that got to see it. um where I felt like, and I don't want to bear false witness, but it really felt like just randomly out of nowhere, it felt like he had went outside to do yard work, and then he kind of started like doing like a slight noise campaign around the house, and I felt unprovoked. I didn't understand it, and so that's why I wanted to document, because I started to kind of have a negative reaction to it, and then it felt like I started getting backlash for my negative reaction to what was happening, and so that's why I felt like I needed to record it. But aside from that little moment there, with him, with everyone in my close circle, it really hasn't been that bad. It has not been that bad. It's been a lot better. So I just, to avoid problems, I took the video down. I'm just, calling it an isolated incident, and I don't really have to be responsive every time those things happen anyway. It's really, at the end of the day, just noise. And I realize if you ignore it, a lot of times it will stop if you don't give it attention. So I took the video down, y'all. And I just wanted to tell y'all or explain to y'all why I did for those of y'all that saw that video and now you see it gone. And then also too, I just wanted to talk about a reaction I had earlier because it feels healthy for me when I talk about these things and it's good to document these things. But like I told y'all in my part 1 venting video, because even though I don't think I'll title this part 2 venting video, I'm not really sure what I'm going to title this. Maybe mini discussion or something. I don't know what I'm going to title this video. But like I mentioned in my part 1 venting video, I've been having some really bad weeks. These last 2 weeks, it's odd because I just started working. Things are looking up, considering how they were before, where I was unemployed for about a year, sitting on my ass with nothing to do in my room, unemployed, just really in a bad state, depressed, whatever. I started working out again, taking care of my body. Then just recently, about 2 months ago, I started doing security again. So I have some form of income coming in. I have food stamps, y'all. Again, not trying to like scream it from the mountaintops. Um, but I have food stamps and I'm not ashamed of it either because I know some people have some sort of negative stigma with food stamps or a negative view on it. But to me, it's free food. So I'm going to utilize it. Are you crazy? I even had food stamps prior to my targeting when I was in college. So it's helpful and it's helping me and I have it and I'm grateful. So I have that. Things are looking up for me. It's a lot better than it was before. But oddly enough, like these last 2 weeks, like I told you, it's just been unbearably irritating, everything. I just can't really explain my mood or how I felt. And my period isn't due until like the 14th in a couple days, actually, y'all. I actually did start feeling cramps today. And so I started to, I don't give y'all a TMI, but I did start feeling cramps today. So I do think it's coming. I do think I am genuinely PMSing now. But when I made the venting video and I was speculating that maybe my cycle changed and that my period was coming a little early, that wasn't the case. So I don't know what was making me feel that way. It felt similar to how I feel when I'm PMSing. But these last 2 weeks, I've been like extremely annoyed at everything. Like things that I've been doing really exceptionally well with, excuse me with the poor grammar, really exceptionally well. But even things I've been doing exceptionally well with, I don't know, everything's just been annoying me, like super annoying. And I've been having these really egregious reactions. And I know not to do that because of what happened to me when I tried to relocate in 2022. Came back, my targeting went viral, et cetera, et cetera. Listen to my story, y'all. Came back to Island December of 2022 and did research and learned I was a target. After I learned everything that I learned and had, some of those stupid reactions when I tried to relocate off Island summer of 2022, and the targeting went viral and stuff, I know not to have egregious reactions. I know not to have these extreme reactions. But literally, I can't even explain it. The way I have felt these last 2 weeks, it's literally just been like, it's almost equivalent to how I felt around the time when the nano amped up in my body. And I suspect I have been hit with the radiation early last year, like around February, March, when I told you I was really seething, like I was trying to become a developer and I was teaching myself how to code. And it seemed like the noise campaigns amped up and all these different things happened. Listen to my story, y'all. And I was having some really outrageous reactions, like similar to kind of what happened earlier. Like it's this thing where it's not like I'm going in the people in my close circle's face and screaming at them or being disrespectful. That's never going to be me. That's just not my personality. But more so in my room, I know I'm being surveilled. I know everybody can hear what I'm saying. I know everybody can see me. I know they're listening to my thoughts. My thoughts are being broadcasted, brain to computer interface. Check out those links in the description box, y'all. For those of you that are new to this program and want to know what's in store, get prepared. Or those of you that already know what's up, y'all know your thoughts are being broadcasted. I just have been thinking some really bad stuff. Like not bad stuff as in like I'm going to do this or do that. Nothing like that. But I mean just like cussing, nasty, mean thoughts, partially it's antagonization too though. Y'all know how this goes. You're constantly being antagonized. But as I said, it's not as bad as it was before. It's bad. I'm still a target. But it's not as bad as it was before. Even as I'm going to work out, it's not as bad as it was before. But there are still certain things that happen sometimes that trigger me. And so when those things happen, that's when I have these really outrageous reactions and then I get punished for my reaction. Like I was running across the road today when I was jogging, right? And typically when I jog, they don't really mess with me like that. I do see people watching me from their cars sometimes, but for the most part, they keep their head straight, and act like they don't really know what's going on. I might hear a little ref campaign here or there, but it's really not that bad and it's gotten better too. Because when I first started jogging, it was a lot more ref campaign than what it is now. But look, the cat again. I'm telling y'all they microchipped the cat. I'm telling you, the cat is microchipped. Anyways, but today there was this guy in this green truck this rickety green truck. I'm not going to say too much because I was really being a bitch about it earlier, but it's because of what he did. It was a response to what he did. And they start sending me stuff about being a bully. When he literally revved he's not a bully, really? When I'm crossing the road and you're revving up your truck like you're going to run me over? Come on, man. So I jogged across the field and then I went to cross the road to get back into my neighborhood. Because typically I'll jog from my neighborhood and I'll jog all the way to the shopping center and then I'll jog back to my neighborhood, and that's about a 20-minute jog. So anyways, I was, about to cross the road and I just noticed that, he was a far ways back, and so I tried to jog across the road quick. He starts speeding up and revving his truck. So I just got really enraged. Like I told you, I've been having some really outrageous feelings and reactions these last 2 weeks, and I started to think some really bitchy thoughts about him. I said, that piece of shit. I didn't say it, but you might as well say it when your thoughts are being projected. I said, you piece of shit. I said, in your rickety old rusty truck, you have the nerve to rev up and act like you're gonna run me over. Something like that. Nothing major, really. It's not like I really came hard for him. It's so many people drive rickety trucks. Who gives a shit? I mean, a lot of times people use old rickety trucks to do yard work or to do work on island, whatever. If you're in the States, you might have a rickety truck to do work. A lot of these dudes have that, like rickety trucks, and then they have other vehicles. And even if you don't have another vehicle, who gives a shit? At this point, I don't have a vehicle at all. So I'm not really talking about anybody's vehicle. But I was just reacting to him revving up when I'm trying to cross the road and acting like he's going to run me over. That was a reaction. And this is what I talk about with the reactive abuse, because, you have an adverse reaction to what happens and then you get painted as the bad guy, even though you're reacting to something that just happened. So then I noticed after I had that reaction, I started thinking some really bitchy thoughts. I went to the house. And it also started to rain on me, but I'm not going to bear false witness with that. I already talked about HARP and the fact that that's one of the tactics used on targets. They go all out, y'all. Watch the Truman Show. I talked about this in the video that I just deleted, so I'm going to say it again in this one, and I've talked about it in prior videos that I do still have posted. I don't remember which ones. But another tactic used, and another form of technology used on targets, believe it or not, is HARP. They go as far as to use HARP sometimes. So you might notice odd things happening with the weather on a day when you have something to do, or a day where you might have been acting outrageous or you pissed the gang stalkers off. You might notice it starts to get cloudy or rain or whatever. They actually use HARP on targets. It's really like the Truman Show. If you watch the movie The Truman Show and you see what Truman went through, that is the targeted individual experience. And I'm actually of the belief that whoever created The Truman Show knew about this program and they were trying to create some sort of comical spin on the targeted individual program. The only difference, I would say key difference, is that Truman is liked. He's well liked, and targets are oftentimes vilified and viewed in a negative light and smear campaign, etc., etc. That's the only difference. Truman is actually liked and looked to as a kind of like, I don't want to say a hero, but kind of like, this, I don't, like, he's like the protagonist in the movie, he's looked at as a protagonist, whereas targets are looked at as antagonists. So that's the only key difference. But it's the same thing where everybody's focused on you and looking at you, and the radio's talking to you, and they're controlling the weather and making it rain on you and stuff. Check out The Truman Show. That's the targeted individual experience. So anyways, they use HARP. I noticed it in the States when I tried to relocate in 2022, summer of 2022. I noticed that was one of the tactics being used on me, but I wasn't certain. I hadn't even learned I was a target yet. I just did notice it kept raining, like hard too at certain times. I was like, how is this happening? I really thought something spiritual was going on, y'all. I was losing my mind in that car. And then when I came home, I learned I was a target, and I started learning about the technology and all these different things. I was like, eureka. It was like an epiphany. I was like, okay, I'm not crazy. Whoa, this is a real program and real shit that was being done. I was like, whoa, thank God I found this information, because I thought I was going off my rocker. I thought, first of all, something spiritual was going on. But then also, too, I thought I was going off my rocker. And I can imagine how many targets who haven't done research might really think that. That's why you have targets calling themselves schizophrenic. It's scary. But anyway, let me not go off on a tangent. So just know they do use HARP sometimes. Not always, but they do take it that far. Like, a lot of manpower is used when you're targeted. And so it started raining on me too. So after I had that little moment with the dude where he almost ran me over or whatever, I don't think he would have ran me over. All these people are watching. He was trying to antagonize me. But nonetheless, the revving up and acting like you speeding up when you see me running across the road, that pissed me off. And I'm so different to how I used to be. I used to be like this pushover person. And I've turned into kind of, I don't want to say a hothead, because even now I'm not a hothead. I wouldn't classify myself as a hothead, but I'm definitely a lot more combative than I used to be. Like, this is not even my personality or my character. It's so weird what this program can do to a person. But I'm a lot more combative and outspoken than I used to be. And so when he did that, I automatically started thinking nasty thoughts about him in my head. I didn't call him, it's not like I said bitch ass nigga or anything disrespectful like that. I definitely did not. But I still was just, like insulting his truck and calling him a piece of shit in my head. And so I noticed as I did that, I'm jogging home, all of a sudden it starts raining on me. And so I was like, are they doing harp? I really felt like they were doing harp on me, but I wasn't certain. And that's the thing. This is why it's such an effective psychological warfare program, because the tactics they use are everyday things that you could easily be confused on whether or not they're using the technology or if it's like a genuine thing that's happening, like rain. That's an everyday thing that happens. So you don't know. Sometimes you can tell, but you don't know for sure if is it raining genuinely or are they using harp on me. But that's what started happening. It started raining on me. So I jogged home and I was in a pissy mood. I was still kind of feeling in a good mood-ish, but I was getting more annoyed as the moments went on. And then when I got in the house, more stuff happened. I just had this bad reaction, man. This really nasty, bad reaction. Like the worst reaction I have had in months. Like the last time I think I've reacted this bad was around the time, like I said, when the radiation thing was happening, or I suspect it was happening in the nano stuff, right? February and March of last year. So I was just in my head, just cussing and going sick in my head. Oh, what triggered it more was this. Okay, see, I'm trying to be careful though, because if I say this, then I'm talking about the people in my close circle again. But I can quickly say this. I had a conversation with someone in my close circle, and she was asking me some questions about a family member in a conversation I had with a family member in 2021. And it turned nasty. And I believe really it turned nasty because I think she was already just feeling animosity towards me for making the video that I made yesterday. Um, or whenever it was, yesterday or day before yesterday. The video I told you I deleted, the vent part 2, for those of you that haven't seen it. And what I said about the other person in my close circle. I think this is where the animosity was really coming from, because I know she's well aware of the fact that I had this conversation with this family member that she was referencing. We even talked about it. So I know she knew about that conversation. So I didn't know why it was being brought up now in the way that it was, where it was like, I don't know. I don't want to go into the details about it because, again, now I'm treading into dangerous territory, but I believe that's where the animosity was really coming from because of that video I created. And so I just remembered her saying certain things, and I got really annoyed because the conversation ended up going into the direction of her telling me I need to find my own place and you need to get out. Not straight up saying you need to get out. That's not what she said. But she was basically saying that I need to find my own place and, just stuff. This is what the conversation always turns into when I make these videos about people in my close circle. The conversation always starts going to me needing to get my own place and, just be one of those people that's over there. And, even though we're family, you be over there type of thing. And I'm just in my head like, not even in my head, I said it out loud. I said, well, and she's saying me and so, I guess the other person in my close circle will help you find a place, but you need to this and that, right? And so I said out loud to her, I said, but I wish you would have let me leave when I tried to leave. And I mentioned 2022 when I tried to leave. So not last year. Y'all remember we're in a new year now. So it almost feels like it was 2 years ago, but really it wasn't a full 2 years ago. Almost though. Time is flying. It's so crazy because it feels like it just happened, everything that happened with my targeting going viral and stuff. This last year flew by. Even though I was on my ass not working, it flew by like crazy. But I talked about this in my prior videos. In 2022, summer of 2022, I resigned from my teaching job. I had saved up $4,000 and change dollars. I'm not going to say it again. It's going to be redundant for me to repeat it again. I'm not going to repeat everything, just quickly saying this. But I resigned from a teaching job, saved up about $4,000 and change, tried to relocate to the States, did not know I was a target, did not know this thing would be following me. And so when it did follow me, and I had some of the reactions I had, listen to my story, y'all, so you can get the scoop of what's going on. Listen to the commentating over a clip video, y'all, because that's a more recent video with me talking about what happened, and it's more up to date, right? But when that happened, I tried to relocate and I realized this thing followed me, didn't know I was a target yet, and I had the reactions I had that made the thing go viral. That basically just really ruined everything for me. I don't want to say ruined. I'm not going to be negative about it, and I'm not going to let this be define me or my life and let this be the defining moment for me. I'm not. But it definitely did complicate things severely for me, and it made things way worse than it was before I left Island. Like, I'm really down bad now. I'm only now just getting on my feet a little bit, like I told y'all. But down bad, man. I was down bad after what happened in the States and my targeting going viral and me really getting on the map, being put on the map and all these things that happened. Really bad, like ass out, kind of, you know what I mean? So I was just saying, well, you're saying this now, but why didn't you guys really let me leave when I tried to leave? Why did this thing follow me? And so, of course, in that conversation, that's what I'm talking about, is not really being acknowledged. The things that happen, you know how that goes when you're targeted. Certain things just, you don't get acknowledged. Just like, what are you talking about? You're crazy, this and that type of stuff, right? So I'm just, I'm just perturbed. I'm like, you putting me out, and you know what my situation is now. I only now just started working back. I'm only doing security. I don't even have any money saved. And it's now to the point where my targeting has gotten worse. It's not like before where I had like good credit. I had money saved. I wasn't on the map the way that I am now, where it was more like ample opportunity for me to really leave. Had I been able to leave and this thing not follow me, oh, now it would have been good. I would have paid back, a lot of stuff that I needed to pay back, like the 2 back-to-back car accidents I had that happened to me, y'all, that I told y'all happened after my targeting. Never been in a car accident in my entire life. And then at the age of 29, 2 back-to-back car accidents right after my targeting, because constant gang stalking on the road and me speeding like a maniac and just stupidness, man, stupidness. Even the other day at the gym, I started doing the speeding thing again, and I had to catch myself because the guy that owns the gym talked to me. But really what it was is I saw stimuli, right? You know how they set up theater and stuff. I don't want to bear false witness. Maybe it wasn't theater and I'm just so sensitized to what's done to me that I thought it was theater. But I had seen something as I was driving to the gym, and I thought they had done that purposely for me because I'm so used to that being done to me. So whether it was theater or not, that's what I felt in my head. And so I kind of sped into the parking spot. I know not to speed with cars. After all the accidents I've been in, and the fact that I'm even being loaned this car after they were not loaning it to me for a while, I know not to speed. When I'm on the main road, I'm not speeding. I'm driving carefully. But in that moment when I was in the parking lot and I saw what looked like stimuli to me, it triggered me, and so I sped into the parking lot hard. And so this is why the I mean the guy that owns the gym, spoke to me. He ended up talking to me about it and the fact that I need to be more careful when I'm coming in. He said, you're in a parking lot full of people, and just, were you a race car driver? And he was just asking me, he's very friendly, very nice guy. But he was just asking me if I was a race car driver and what size shoe do I wear, just being funny. But he's right, and after everything I've been through, I already know I need not to speed. Even if it's in a parking lot, I need not to do that. And so that kind of just alerted me to the fact that, get it together. Don't even speed in the parking lot. Like, I'm trying to cross all my T's, dot all my I's. I don't want problems, right? Um, but that's what happened to me before I left Island. Like, I was speeding like a maniac, even on the main road, and very recklessly too, because I was depressed and I was really just kind of going off and didn't know I was a target, really didn't know what was going on. And just knowing that all these people are following me, and I was like, what the hell is this? And I was just speeding like a maniac on the road. And I got in 2 back-to-back car accidents. Anyway, check out my story also. You could hear more of the details for those of you that aren't aware of what I'm talking about. But nonetheless, all of that could have been paid off, because I'm going off on a tangent. Those 2 car accidents would have been paid off. I would have had my own place. I would have been on my feet. I would have been out of, the people in my close circles here. I want to say out of the hair. It's not like they've ever had to take care of me aside from when I was a child. I've always been independent and taking care of myself and worked multiple jobs, been in school, etc. Even in those years that I told y'all about where I was a drunk, those 2 years in my mid-20s where I was a drunk, blackout drunk, there was 2 years where I went through that. Listen to my full story, y'all. Even in that time, I had a job. I've always had a job and I've always had money to take care of myself. So this is the first time in years where I've been down so bad that I've had to like rely on the people in my close circle to take care of me. So it just kind of felt like, okay, now everything's kind of, I don't want to say ruined, but yeah, kind of quote unquote ruined, at least at the moment, and I'm just getting on my feet as far as work goes. Now you're telling me to like move on. I'm just like, don't you know what's going on? This kind of way is what I was saying to her, because I'm like, what's going on, even if it's not going to be acknowledged. It never will be. Your experience is never going to be acknowledged as a target. That's just how the program works. They're never going to acknowledge what you're saying. At least not really, not fully. They'll be like, oh, show me, because I'll explain I'm a target. I told you that. I said, you don't know what's going on? I'll be like, I told you I'm watch listed. Prove it to me. Prove you're on the watch list. I can't. There's no way to prove it. They don't show you that you're watch listed. Even in that video with the senator that I told you I'm going to put in the description box, that I shared the clip of in the last video, the Vent Part 2 video that I deleted. Even in that video, he's talking about the fact that the program is unconstitutional because not only is there no due process, but they don't even alert you when you're watch listed. They don't tell you. You just started noticing all this covert harassment. That's how the program works. So there's no way you can prove it. You can prove that it exists. You can prove that the technology exists. You can document things that are happening to you. but you can't like concretely prove, hey, I'm a target, my name is on a watch list. You can It's not, it's one of those intangible things, just like the harassment is somewhat intangible. So it's just one of those things where it's so easy to be gaslit when it comes to that. And so in that conversation, of course, it's not being validated what I'm saying about being a target. And so I'm just like, come on now, like, things are really bad for me now. When I actually did try to leave Island, everything was sabotage, is what I was saying to her. And it was getting me upset as I was saying that to her. I was like, when things were good and I had my credit score and everything and I had money saved, why didn't y'all let me leave? Why do all this? I said, why did y'all let me get followed and all this stuff that happened? I could have been doing good all now, is what I was saying in the conversation. And so I ended up going in my room and just being really upset and irritated and annoyed and angry and thinking some really negative thoughts. Again, not saying anything directly horrible to anybody in my close circle, but kinda. Like, I was saying some bad stuff, like, and cussing stink too in my head. And just like, why the F would they do this? And you'd ruin my whole effing life. Like, this is what I was thinking in my head. But obviously, it's as good as me saying it out loud. I even think I started saying stuff out loud too, because my thoughts are being broadcasted. So when you're angry like that and you start having that kind of reaction, it's hard to differentiate between thinking and speaking, because you get so used to the fact that your thoughts are being broadcasted that you start saying shit that you probably wouldn't have said out loud before, because it's like, your thoughts are being broadcasted anyways. And so I was just at that moment there in the room, and I was just saying a lot of negative stuff. And I was just like, why the F didn't y'all just let me leave for real? And why have me followed and all this? And now what, my life is ruined, basically ruined my life. And now you want to tell me to get on, what's going on. And just stuff like that, man. I was just like really having a bad moment. And it hasn't been that bad, like I said, in months. The last time I had thought those type of negative thoughts was, like I said, early last year, like around February, March, when the nano amped up in my body and stuff. And so I had to go to sleep, y'all. I was tired. I was sleepy. I still didn't even get a lot of sleep. I'm here at work and I'm very sleepy. But I tried to get some sleep and just catch myself. And when I woke up, and also too, before I went to sleep, though, I read this article on Quora, because what I started doing was research and thinking about how I can fight this, this program and get help and whatever else. I started looking up stuff. And so I saw this target on Quora that was basically talking about the fact that, just talking about how the program works, things that I already know, and talking about the fact that you can't react and your reaction makes things worse. Just the same stuff that I already know, and how the way the program is designed is for you to be harassed and surveilled day in and day out. And they also just look at how you react to certain stressors, and they'll change it if it's not bothering you anymore. And things like that. And for me, it's not been as invasive. Like I said, it's not like in the States, in the mainland, where the targeting is really invasive and really bad. I even saw this. Yeah, I don't even want to mention that. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to say this other target that was talking about his experience in the islands as a target, and how it's not as bad as in the mainland. But I noticed that's the case. It's still happening. You're still targeted. It's still irritating. Your privacy is still being infringed, but it is not like in the mainland, y'all. For those of you that have never experienced targeting in the islands, well, at least my island and then the other island that I heard this target talk about versus the mainland, it's a different beast, but it's still bad though. You're still targeted. So it's just like, my targeting hasn't been as invasive as in the States, but still it's happening. And so it's just like, whoa, my brain went blank. That's crazy, y'all. I felt it happening. I was trying to like grip back to what I was. It's because I'm so sleepy, y'all. I am so sleepy. I did not get good sleep because I was having that bad reaction. I only got about an hour of sleep before coming here to work. And I didn't rest much earlier either. So I'm very sleepy. But my brain just went blank. What was I saying? Oh my God. I was talking about the reaction I had and the fact that I haven't had that kind of reaction in months, since like the beginning of last year. But there was something else I was saying. Why did I start talking about the States and it being worse in the States and the mainland? Why did that happen? What the heck? My brain went blank, y'all. They have the capability to do that with the technology, right? But I don't want to bear false witness, because in all honesty, I am very tired right now. So that could be what's going on. Um, oh my God, what? It's like completely gone. I don't even remember my train of thought. That's wild. I know I was telling y'all about the bad reaction I had before I eventually got like an hour of sleep, and how bad it was, and how that was like the worst reaction I've had since the beginning of last year, like February. But I don't remember why I started talking about the mainland and it being worse than the mainland. This is where I'm confused. What the heck? I'm sure, again, guys, I'm gonna listen back to this and realize what the train of thought was. So please excuse me, I'm tired. But nonetheless, just know that I started having this really horrible reaction. Oh, and I started reading what the target on Quora was saying. That's right, about how the program works, and to remember that you need to not react because it's designed to get like this reaction, to get, this horrible reaction out of you, to get you to have these adverse reactions. And so it was just a reminder to me, and I was just like, oh my God, I know this. It's like dumb. Like, this. Like, why would you now start to mess up? It's been so long that you finally started getting it together. Like, I got my reactions down pat. Like, I got this thing under control, on lock. At least for the last few months, I've had it on lock. And then these last 2 months, these last 2 weeks in particular, these last 3 weeks, it's been really bad. My reactions and my feelings and my emotions. And it's like, you would think it would be better now that I'm working. I even have a gym membership. I have food stamps. Things are looking up a little bit. But it's like I've just been in this really rotten mood these last 3 weeks. And I almost wonder, is it neuromonitoring? Because I know they can control your emotions with the technology. So I don't want to bear false witness, but I was wondering if it was that. Because I was just in this really nasty mood and everything just felt way more annoying than it usually feels. And I've just been having these really bad reactions. Again, nowhere near as bad as when I was in the States and the thing went viral in 2022. But kind of similar to the reactions I was having like at the beginning of last year, where I was thinking like, I don't want to say reckless thoughts, but nasty thoughts like cussing and, asshole or piece of shit, that type of stuff. Like, I typically try to steer away from those type of thoughts, and it's really been that kind of thought process these last 3 weeks. I have been getting really rowdy with my thoughts. And so this is what was happening in that moment. I was just going off there for a moment before I went to sleep. And then I read that article on Quora from that Target, and I was just like, get it together, Sharifa, you know better. Like, you know how this works. At this point now, it's idiocracy on my part. Because I won't gaslight myself. I am going through a very traumatic experience, but at the same time, I know what I know. I've learned what I've learned, and I've been dealing with this long enough to understand how it works, and to understand that the negative reactions make it worse. Doesn't help. Um, and it's just like, I don't know what's going on. I can't really explain my emotions. I've just been really angry these last 3 weeks. It's just this weird thing. I can't really explain it. So tonight was the worst. Tonight was the coup de grace. And so I was just like, go to sleep and get it together. And when I woke up, I was in a much better mood, still very sleepy. I'm still sleepy right now, but like my mind was a lot more clear. And I was just like, come on, do better with these reactions. And I was just like, I got to make a video about it. I wanted to, but I was just feeling sleepy about it just now. And then something happened, something I was watching that they revved by for. I don't even remember what it was, but it reminded me that I wanted to make this video. And I had already deleted the part 2 video. I already told myself I was going to delete it. Literally, I actually had deleted a few moments before making this video. But then something I was watching, I can't even remember what it was, that caused them to rev by. I don't even remember, and it's so insignificant, y'all. This I don't even care. But it amped, not amped, what's the word I'm looking for? It prompted me to make this video that I already wanted to make. So just more documentation, y'all. Again, another update. I'm going to call this mini discussion. Just letting y'all know why I deleted the last video. Letting y'all know that I did have some nasty reactions again today, really bad reaction. And it's just been like a rough last 3 weeks, despite things kind of looking up for me. And I'm working really hard to just kind of like level out and stop having these reactions and stop feeling so negatively. And I think lack of sleep might play a part in things too, because I am sleepy all the time these days because I'm working at night now. But I don't think that's all that's going on. I don't know what it is really. These last 3 weeks have been really bad. So I'm working on it. But I wanted to document, let y'all know what was going on, and also just, again, let you know why I took down the last video. Anyway, guys, so check out the description box. Important links are there. Links to how I became targeted, links to information about the technology utilized on targets, the drones that are used to surveil targets, the technology used to neuromonitor, other important links will be down there. And also the link to the case that I referenced with the senator. So check it out, man. I'll put that link in the description box because typically I don't include that link. That's relatively new even to me. But I'll include that link in the description box as well. And I'll talk to y'all in the next one. Like I said, hopefully the next one will be a positive video, maybe another update video on my workouts or something like that. You might not see a video from me in a while, guys. And not because I don't want to make a video, but because I'm trying to stay away from the targeted individual content, subject matter. And the next video I come with, I think I want it to be like either a workout update or something good, something like that. And so if I do come with another workout update video and that is the next video that I choose to create, that's not going to be a right now thing because I already just recently last month gave y'all an update. So likely I won't come with another update for another few months if the Most High spares my life. So you probably won't see a video from me for a while unless I have to absolutely have to document something or there's something else upbeat that I want to talk about. But for now, I don't really have anything that I can think of that I would really want to make a video about right now. So the next video you all might see from me might be just that, or maybe I might do an anti-nano bucket video. I already said I might do that. So we'll see. But I'll talk to you on the next one, man. Y'all just keep your head up. And if you have any questions or if you want to contact me about anything, you can always comment in my comment section. My channel is shadow banned like crazy. I've already told y'all that. They mess with my likes, they mess with my subscriptions, they mess with my comment section. Sometimes I'll see, that somebody replied to a comment that I responded to. Like, they'll put a comment in my comment section. I'll reply. And then I'll see the notification that they replied, and I'll even see that there's an extra message there. But then when I click to see the reply, it's not showing. So they hide comments from me. They do all kinds of stuff, y'all. But if you have questions or you want to share something with me, I always answer when I do see the message. So just go ahead and comment, subscribe, keep me updated too. If you find out new stuff, let me know. I'm a target too. Shoot, I do a lot of research and I share info, but I'm constantly trying to learn new things too. So if you learn something new that you want to share with me, go ahead and share it with me. And thank you for viewing. I'll talk to you on the next one. Peace out.